For the toe spreads, we're working on laterally opening up those toes. So try and get the pinky and the big toe as far apart as possible. Keep it horizontal. Don't let the toes pick up towards you to compensate. And just focus on spreading those toes as far as possible. For the foot crunches, we're going to open and extend those toes, spread them out, and then we're going to squeeze everything together. So really make a fist with that foot and squeeze and try and clench it all together. You can't overdo it. So really squeeze hard and then extend. Back and forth, getting all the muscles to engage. For the arch pronations, you're going to take turns lifting up onto that first raise, so that big toe, then pronating across that transverse arch before lowering down onto that heel. So you're going to go to the big toe, down, lift up, pronate across to that fourth and fifth metatarsal, that pinky toe, and then press back up. So going back and forth. As you get more advanced, you don't have to lower down all the way. You can just stay up there and alternate back and forth on that pronation. But just make sure you focus on lifting the big toe up when you're on the pinky toe and lifting the pinky toe up when you're on the big toe. Lifting that heel up as high as you can the whole time. For the hip turns, you're going to shift that weight up on the heels and lift the toes up. So now this is developing strength in that anterior and posterior tibialis, but we're going to add in a pronation here to shift left and right. So you're going to pronate to the outside, to the fourth and fifth metatarsal, the bone on the outside of the foot to touch, and then go all the way to the inside. Now make sure you're not just reaching with that big toe. You want to get the inside, that bone to the ground, and take your turn back and forth, getting that full rotation. Now, if this is a lot, you can always drop back into a single leg variation and do a partial range of motion, just work back and forth to get that ankle pronation. Especially if you're coming from an ankle injury, this may be the next step you have to do to build up strength. For the single leg RDL, you're going to balance on one foot and you're going to hinge at the hip and lower down. Make sure we're not reaching for the ground here. We're just trying to hinge at the hip and shift back into that glute. One big cue to focus on is where you're putting the weight on your foot. I want you to think about pressing into that first knuckle, that ball of the foot, as you then anchor the toes down. But your goal is to try and create some rotational torque between that knuckle of that big toe and then the knee. The outside, so the inside of that knuckle and the inside of the knee, you want to create that rotational bow. Now that's going to start to get this shifted, integrated system all the way up the body as you grab the ground, hinge at the hip, lower down, touch, come back up. Again, it doesn't matter how far down you get. In fact, if you only get halfway, that's totally fine. The goal is to feel the muscles actively working. Bunny hops are our little baby introduction movement. So it's like jumping rope, but you're moving a little bit forward. Think about keeping the hands relaxed, the shoulders relaxed, pushing through the ankle. So when you jump up, your toes should be pointing at the ground. Keep things nice and soft and isolate all the movement to the feet and ankle and lower leg. For single leg bounding, we're going to develop resiliency and strengthen this foot, ankle, and lower leg. So you're going to start off small, driving the hands and knees. You want to think about a coordination movement, so the contralateral foot and leg are moving. And you're just going to jump. Small, little, simple jumps. Make sure it's pain-free and simple. Backwards running is the best drill to develop strength in the running form we want to work on. So you're going to try and load the proper structures of the front of the foot and the quad as you extend, but this is a softer position and you're not going to hurt yourself, which is why we can get stronger and develop the muscles of extension we want to use when running in a low-risk environment.